And so here we see one of the first real Nobel Prizes for an AI capability. What is AlphaFold? When I was in medical school, God, some decades ago, the supercomputing problem that was always, like 10, 20, 50 years out was, could you go from an amino acid sequence, a sequence of amino acids, 1,000 or 5,000 of them, to predicting the folding of a protein. And how proteins fold is everything. It's the structure that is your antibody, or is your muscle, or is your, the structure in your body. And it was always very difficult. But they wrote a AI program called AlphaFold that is accurately able to achieve that within a single atomic radius, which was incredibly crazy. Then they created AlphaFold 3, which is able to simulate the interaction of all molecules of life, like this DNA, this sugar, this protein. How would they interact if they're put in a chemical solution together? Where they're going next is, can we simulate an entire human cell? Right? Can we simulate in silico on computer that billion chemical reactions per second? And then next step, can I take your DNA and simulate your cell and simulate your organ and simulate you, and know without any question that if I give you this drug, it's going to work in this way for you. Better than doing a human trial.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that makes me go, maybe we really do live in a simulation. The reason I think that, we were talking about this before we started rolling, as a game developer, the thing that you realize is, my job is to create a set of rules. And so all I'm trying to do is create a very predefined set of rules that yield, in the case of game development, something that's fun, right? But you really are down in the level of physics. When this happens, the character should react this way, or the gun should fire this way, whatever. And you start asking yourself, well, wait a second. If I build rules that aren't necessarily player instigated or related, but exist,
yes.
Now all of a sudden you can create this setup where things can interact in ways that would surprise even the game developer. And when you start thinking through that problem of, like, take Minecraft, and I want Minecraft where a player will go in and they'll rearrange things and leave, and when they come back, the crop should keep growing or whatever while they were gone, right?
Well, you've seen that simulation, right, where they put 1,000 AI agents into Minecraft.
Yes.
And they developed an entire economy and currencies, and I was insane.
Now, what I want people to realize is that's just because there's a set of rules. And so now every interaction point has a predefined set of ways that can go. And so when I look at, okay, why is technology the thing that's going to allow us to move forward? It's because all of the rules of the way that a human cell works are knowable. They're just not known.
Yes.
But they are predefined. And whether this is a simulation created by God or a 13-year-old programmer in another dimension almost becomes irrelevant. We are in a rules-based world. And as we can tease out those rules, then we can unlock the potential of what it means to know those rules. So if you know that aging is based on this really complicated interaction, just to simplify it for people, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong as the person that has the degrees, but what's really going on, this is an epigenome phenomenon. So you have this little thing that runs along your genes and either says this should be wrapped tight and not red,
yes,
or this should be unwrapped and red. And what ends up happening is your skin cell begins to unravel in the wrong places. And it's like, am I an ear, a skin cell, a heart cell? What am I? And so you get this de-differentiation, and that is aging. And so if you could go, okay, I know what this gene in your body is supposed to look like. And so now I'm going to put something in there that helps basically the thing that lives inside your cell already, the epigenome readers, creatures, whatever. They actually move. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know what to classify them as. But if you had something that was like, no, that one's not supposed to look like this. Now you're just saying, as long as I know the rules and I have a method by which I can nudge these things to act in the right way, then to your earlier point, I don't see what it is possibly that we would run up against. Now, it requires us to be able to manipulate things at that kind of protein level. It doesn't seem
Ray
impossible.
Kurzweil, who's been a mentor and a business partner and friend, one of the leading thinkers in AI, who believes we're going to reach this idea of longevity escape velocity, which, by the way, is the moment in time where for every year that you're alive, science is extending your life for more than a year, right? So you depart and it goes to infinity. He thinks we're going to reach that by the end of the year 2030, right?
5 years from now.
Yeah, insane. And then, in speaking to folks like George Church and David Sinclair, their prediction is the mid-2030s, a decade from now. The point for everyone listening here is we're in a magical time. Your job is to take care of your body, keep yourself healthy enough to intercept, like I say in the title of my book, don't die from something stupid in the interim. Right? You don't want to be the last person not standing in this regard. And Ray's belief is that a lot of this is going to materialize on the backside of nanotechnology, which is a set of technologies. Originally, Freeman Dyson wrote about them, and then Eric Drexler wrote about these. And it's the ability to manipulate things on an atomic level, right?
Is nanotech real today?
Nanotech is, and I've had a lot of conversations on this subject, it isn't fully, it's wet nanotech. What nanotech is today is the ability to design proteins that do things for us. Still
novel proteins or
yeah,
to
brand new.
replicate?
It's like we need a protein that can have an arm that sticks out and attaches here and does this. And so
wait. We can
yes.
We understand how these structures happen to the point that we can actually create novel protein structures?
100%. So that was part of the Nobel Prize as well. And
wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this. So we're not just mapping these enzymatic processes yield this protein. We're saying we understand the sort of Lego-y nature of a protein and now can create any shape we want?
So there is a program called Alpha Proteo, also put out by DeepMind, in which you can design the protein that you want, translate it into an amino acid sequence, and have a ribosome manufacture it for you.
Whoa.
So what that means, more than just being able to create, I like that, Legoized novel proteins that do the stuff that you want to do, it's a future for medicine. I mean, if you think about it, how do we find medicines today? Historically, we've gone into the rainforest and chopped down plants, dug up dirt, bring it back, process it, see if there's anything bioactive in there, sprinkle it on some yeast, give it to some mice. And then eventually, maybe after 12, 13, 14 years and $2 or $3 billion, have a drug, which, by the way, works for only typically 20% of the people it's prescribed to. Imagine instead, okay, I know that this disease path, if we could block this active site on a cell surface, that would cure it. Let's design a protein that blocks that active site. Design it, manufacture it, and run.
That's bananas. I didn't realize that was the place that we had already reached. That is crazy. So
it's accelerating. Another thing that's interesting, if I could, I don't know if have you had Jack Sittery on the show here from Sandbox AQ.
We were literally just talking about him before this. We're going to target him.
Yeah, so Jack's a dear friend. He's on my board at the X Prize, and he was at Google X, and then he spun out Sandbox AQ. The A stands for AI, the Q stands for quantum. They began with $500 million seed round.
Is that all?
That's all. These seed
it's quite the seed.
It's called inflation or really rich investors. Long story short, I just did a podcast with him on my Moonshots podcast, and we're talking about a number of subjects, but he brought his head of general manager of AI simulation. I love that term. And she's amazing. I'll have her on stage at the Abundance Summit with me in March. And what they're doing is they're using AI and quantum equations to be able to simulate at the atomic and sort of the electron level what's going on chemicals, on molecules. They basically take the equations that govern our quantum universe, Schrodinger's equation, and such, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and they create what they call LQMs, right? Large quantum models, and can begin to model the physical universe at an atomic and subatomic level. It's insane.
So to get the accuracy that you need for some of the biochemical stuff, you have to be dealing in quantum level mechanics.
Yep. Yes.
That is fascinating. What is the state of quantum computing right now? Is it real? Is it still 30 years off?
Well, I mean, it's real and getting realer. So we were talking about beforehand, Google just had an announcement of latest breakthrough, Willow.
What is the breakthrough? Is it stability? What have
It's
they
the
done?
stability. So the biggest issue has been as you're growing the number of qubits, the quantum bits, that the error rate has gone up, and you need error-free quantum bits to do anything. And I don't pretend to be an expert in Willow, but apparently the bigger that system is growing, the more stable it gets and the more logical qubits it has. So I'm going to be diving into that. I mean, that was just announced, but it's exciting. But the point being that we can model quantum on AI systems today before we have quantum computers.